It's the Brits episode.
Yes.
Hey,
Where's the tea and biscuits?
I gotta combat the fucking Brits all by myself.
We'll just make you one of us.
No time for that.
James, I had these guys over at my house last week, and we had a actually, this is good because James, you don't speak the same English they do.
As
What do you mean? Yes, you fucking does.
What English do I speak?
Don't start this shit. Don't start this shit again. You're gonna
Here
lose
we
this
go.
fucking argument.
Is it this year? You're gonna lose this one. Don't even go there.
Is this how I speak Chavi or something?
No. Actually,
Nah.
you do. Remember we said garbage. You guys don't pronounce the R's.
Yeah. I don't.
Yeah, they had the same thing going on. So I finally figured you guys out.
Figure this out.
I can't pronounce any R's.
We can, but we just say R. We don't say R. Like we say this last time.
What word do you pronounce the R in?
Robot.
Say Samson, say Ferrari.
Ferrari.
Yeah, okay. See, you pronounce the R.
Ferrari. We say Ferrari.
You see, that's what else? You can't use Ferrari, man.
Ferrari.
But if there's an R in the middle of the word, you skip over it.
That was Ferrari. That's
Yeah,
Ferrari.
Ferrari's got three of them.
Like garbage.
No, it's just if you said AR. I think when we say an AR, we don't say it like you do. What do you say?
Garbage.
Yeah, we said that garbage. It's
No,
just
no,
ours.
It's
Oh,
the
yours.
same fucking thing, mate.
Yours is like ours is more like it's tweaked a little bit, but it's still there.
I love you guys.
You just can't hear it. It sneaks under your radar because it's just different. It goes.
But they say pasta, which pasta
you say pasta. There's no R in it.
There's no R in pasta. It's pasta.
Oh, exactly. But you say it like it's got an R in it.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
That's because you don't.
PAR. Pasta. Like a pasta for a church.
No, it's because you don't pronounce.
We say pasta.
We say pasta.
It's spelled pasta.
Yeah, pasta.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you say
pasta.
yeah, but when you say bath, you say bath.
That's true.
Bath.
Bath is the one that we're fucked on.
Yeah.
But
See?
in our defense, we speak it's not even the Queen's English anymore, is it? It's the King's English. And
Yeah, it's King's
That's
Which is,
There are some counties say Bath, don't they? Like depending where they're from. Like Flex Lewis would say Bath because he's Welsh.
well, yeah.
They would say Bath.
Anyway, I spent a week with these guys, and I was like, I'm starting to pick up the language. Yeah, I miss you guys. What's going on, guys? This podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, and if you use my code RBP, you'll get 20% off your order plus free shipping. Guys, you can't beat the deal. Or if you click manscaped.com/RBP, it'll take you right to this page, and it will apply the code automatically. See here, it says, congratulations, your discount 20% off plus free shipping from the Real Bodybuilding Podcast will be applied at checkout. And guys, I want to show you this because this thing right here is the beard trimmer. It's actually my favorite product they make. The entire beard kit. So we just click out of this right here. We go to products, and then we go to the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. If you go to this, it literally has everything. This beard shampoo and this brush and this balm I use every day. This is a beard oil. This is the balm and conditioner. I don't use those as much, even though they're great. But this brush, the beard oil, and the beard shampoo and this trimmer have been absolute lifesavers. Guys, $140, you take 20% off that, plus free shipping. Use my code RBP, or like I said, click the link, manscaped.com/RBP. Get the savings, guys, get the free shipping. And honestly, your beard will never look better. Thanks, guys. My cat pissed in Ben's suitcase.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Fucking, you can't even shoot that cat.
Wait.
That's the coolest cat ever, man.
Wait,
I love cats.
in my defense,
In your defense, it's not your fault, right?
It's only my cat's fault.
That's it. That's gonna be on his tombstone. On his headstone.
No, that cat was like Garfield, man. It was really cool.
Okay, wait a minute. Ben, did I not say the very first day when you were here, the cat came in my office? Ben slept in my office because I got a pull-out couch here that turns into a sofa, or it turns to a bed. So anyway, I said the first day the cat came in here, I said, Ben, don't let the cat in the fucking room. Keep the door closed, because if there's something it can sit in, it will piss in it.
Yeah.
3 days later, he's like, the cat pissed in my suitcase.
You can't get rid of that smell either, bro.
Man. Denise had to wash it out, and she was away last weekend. So when she got back, she washed it like yesterday, and she opened it. She was like, "Fuck!" So bad.
Doesn't get any better either.
Cat piss is
terrible.
It's the worst too. Yeah,
yeah.
Strong stuff.
Fuck that cat. Fuck that cat.
He's an asshole.
Fuck all cat.
Cats are assholes on purpose.
All cats are assholes, but that cat can fucking kick rocks.
My cat is a total asshole, but I rescued him. I had to, there's nothing I can do about it. He's just a dick.
That's your fault then. So it is your fault. So everything is your fault because you rescued it. It was on its way out.
You said you shouldn't have rescued the cat. It wasn't worth saving.
Would you? Okay, okay, Ben. So let's play this out. Across the street from your house, there's a cat.
I'm a cunt with cats. I'd let it burn.
Wait. Let me finish. Let me finish the sentence. Cats meowing like crazy for hours. You just let it go. You just let it. Really?
He would as well. He would as well. He's
he would. I hate cats.
Samson, would you go see what
the animal I hate the most is
I have to go see.
Samson's a gentle giant. He would go see.
He's an animal carer.
Yeah.
He'll care for the animals.
But the thing is, I think your cat is cool though. Your cat is like Garfield, man. He just the whole time we were there, he was the coolest cat ever. He just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
he would go on someone's seat and he would just look at you like, "What are you gonna do about it?" He was the coolest cat ever.
let me put it this way, and people are gonna like really fucking go in on me on this, I'd imagine, because there's a lot of cat people out there. When I first moved here, Denise had a cat which was like an outdoor cat, but was kind of indoors, outdoors. It's just to kill the rodents, right?
Yeah.
After like 2 months of me being here, the cat was never allowed inside the house again.
Yeah.
And then now the cat doesn't live here anymore.
That's not that bad though. It doesn't mean it died. It just meant it went to somebody else's house.
No. The pit bull that we had tore the cat.
No.
Oh, you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
You remember last November? The dog got out and ripped the cat to bits.
Is that why you had to wait? Is that why you had to put?
Yeah, that's why we had to put the. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's all your.
Well, wait a minute. The pit bull. No, hang on. No. Because that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Because the pit bull actually
killed a goat.
She killed 5 of our ducks, attacked the goat, and and then just absolutely dismantled the fucking cat. Like Denise had to pick up the cat in 2 different parts and put it in the car.
Wow!
Come on, man.
Yeah. I'm a cat man. I feel bad.
It wasn't me.
That's your fault, Ben.
It's your training.
What do you mean? It's not my fault.
Oh,
the cat was slow and should have got away quicker. It's not my fault.
Cats should be a bit faster.
If you didn't kick the cat out of the house, it would have been able to escape.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I just would have delayed it. Eventually
the dog would have got Yeah. That's too bad, man. I don't.
It's right. It's too bad.
No. Listen, I thought about this the other day. I thought there was a little dog. I take my dog to the park all the time. There's a little dog out there playing, and I'm like, and my dog's. You guys met my dog. He's not vicious at all, but sometimes he gets a little like weird around other animals, and I'm like, if my dog bit that other dog, I would have to put my dog down. I think that's like
I don't think you have to put it down. No, I don't think if he bites another dog.
I think
it's when he bites a person.
Oh, if he bites a person, you for sure have.
Yeah, but even then, I think if the person is a dickhead, then I ain't putting the dog down.
I don't know the actual.
I don't know what the law is. Like, if he kills the other dog, do I put him down? If he bites the other dog, if he bites a person, like, I don't know what the rules are.
Yeah,
but I was like, I thought about it. And I'm like, fuck, that would really suck because it's something like, it's like a freak accident.
Yeah.
Put it this way, we didn't like. There's no one you've seen. We live outside the city limits. We kind of make our own decisions out here. We had to put the pit bull down. She had a taste for. She was attacking too many animals.
Well, there was a whole bunch. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like once you get a taste for blood, and then you start. You fucked them.
Well, you know what?
And then people always like, oh, well, it's not it's the owner's fault. I'm like, hey, we have 2 dogs that raised exactly the same. And our big boy, the King Corso, is chill.
I don't think it's always the owner's fault. I think
there's a lot of instinct there.
Yeah. What I wanted to ask was what I forgot what I was going to ask. I lost my train of thought. So with a vicious pit bull like that, I lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was going to ask.
I was just looking at my shadow. How it looks like an old man.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Look at that. No, it's got a big nose and a cat.
Thanks.
Feed the ducks.
Thanks for picking up the slack, James.
So I was just concentrating on the corner. So.
Anyways, all right. What are we doing here, James? Samson.
How
you doing, man? How you feel? You feel good being back home or what?
Yeah, man, it always feels good being back home. Too bad I'm flying back to New York tomorrow morning.
You don't stop, bro.
Oh, that's
You're-
tomorrow, eh?
Wow. Yeah.
How'd you get all the
know,
food in? Like, is it's just
Dude, I
prepared?
take it with me. We've seen what we do. We prepare the
I
whole
know,
meal.
bro. You don't
Yeah, we
mess
take
about.
it with us. Yeah.
James, you can do. Look, we were talking a little bit before you got on, Samson, about how much you travel and how you do it, and not a lot of bodybuilders can do it and stay on track. I think all of us can. Well, I shouldn't say us. All bodybuilders can do it. I think it's just a matter of
More work.
I think you have to ignore that, like, I have to be home or else I'm failing. And it's a lot of preparation.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the day they got here, the day Samson and Mel got here,
Chicken was getting cooked.
dude, the next morning, because Sunday, they got here Sunday night. I ordered a bunch of groceries. The next morning, Mel was up, Samson was up. They were grilling all the chicken. They grilled all the steak. They cooked all the ground beef. Like, it was all that. It was all ready. So, like, I think, especially now, James, with like Airbnbs, like if you think back, before Airbnb,
you just had a hotel room and no fridge and no cooking.
That would work.
You're fucked. I remember traveling for SciTech, and they would bring me a cooler, and I had my Foreman grill or a little microwave, and they would bring me a cooler, and I had to keep my food in the fridge of the hotel, and I would go down and get like 4 or 5 meals worth and put them in the cooler.
Yeah.
And it was just a fucking nightmare to like.
Try Ben and Luke used to take the skillet with them, didn't you?
Yeah, we did the skillet, but then we also used to do a separate suitcase that would be like frozen food in it. So we'd like cook all our food and then freeze it and then put it on a case together so it stays frozen. Because if we didn't have a big enough fridge or whatever to hold it, so like I remember FIBO was like a 3-day trip, so we had 3 days worth of food just in one suitcase, all frozen, trying to keep itself cool, self-contained, and then work our way through it and hope it didn't go bad.
I hope you don't get no.
That was an Evan trick that I took from him. Evan made a video. Evan made a video once way back, vacuum sealing all his meat. Like, he would cook his chicken,
fish,
let it cool, vacuum seal it, and then freeze it. So I did that on one of my trips. It works really well. I vacuum sealed all my chicken, all my fish, and I threw it in a suitcase, and it was still frozen when I got to fucking.
I still do that. I'll freeze it, vacuum, like Ziploc it in individual portions. And
you don't vacuum seal, you just Ziploc?
Just
Ziploc it, and then I do it in like individual portions. So every meal is Ziplocked, and then I freeze it, and then every single meal is one bag.
So Samson, you were gone for. I mean, we were all gone, but Samson's like in
2 weeks
in bodybuilding mode. So you were gone for a week and a half or 2 weeks because you went to Pittsburgh
2
first.
Weeks. It was 2 weeks. Pittsburgh first, weren't we?
So Pittsburgh, then New York, then here. Did you lose?
Yeah.
Did you lose any weight in that 2 weeks?
I put on weight.
You put on weight.
Yeah. And now, I mean, honestly, but the thing is, the difference is, I noticed the difference is, no matter how much you're able to progress when you're away, there's nothing like being home. Because this past week, when I'm home, this past week, I've literally just gone out of control. You know, I mean, you can still have doing everything right, but you know, when you're home, you just do nothing, man. You train, you're almost regimented to T. The time you go to sleep, the time you move around, everything is so regimented. So that always works more like primary, just works very well. But when you're away, you try to replicate that as much as possible, but you got to always give that wiggle room for, you know, in the training time it will be different, your sleep time will be different, everything will be different, but you just try to do your best to fit as close to your norm as possible.
I just thought of a really stupid analogy, because you're probably going to make fun of me, but so tell me if this happens to you. You know, when your car is dirty, let's say you haven't washed your car for a week or two and it's dirty and you're driving around, you're like, it just doesn't feel right. And then you take it for a wash. Yeah. After you leave the wash, the car feels like it drives better.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I get that. Exactly that. Honestly, I don't know what is weird about it. For some reason, it just feels like it's better. Like,
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So you can go away and you can do all the right shit. But sometimes when you're at home, you just feel like you're bodybuilding better, even though it's the same shit. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is. I agree with you though. When you have all your shit in your own place.
It's just, I think convenience as well, you know, like when you know exactly where the food is, what table, you know exactly where everything is. So you don't even have to think about it. You just get up and almost move around automatically when you're home. Yeah. But when you're away, you can still do the same, but you have to think about it.
Yeah.
I think it's just spend so many years formulating your formula, don't you? So you establish your formula, and your formula is your home's part of that formula. So you just follow that simple pattern.
James, is it that like perfect feeling that you like? When you're at home, you feel like everything's like Samson said, everything's where you need it to be.
Yeah.
When you're away,
it's got the right food in it. Everything's just
When you're away, you just feel out of sorts. Is that why you don't?
And you might have to like when you have to find alternatives and stuff. Like alternatives, okay, but we just don't like. No. You'd rather not. You'd rather not have an alternative.
Yeah.
When it comes to training or when it comes to eating. If you have to have a fish you don't normally eat, or you have to use a piece of equipment for back you don't normally use. Some people are not everyone's like it, but some people are very anal, and if they have those subtle adjustments, it's enough to kind of, make them feel a little bit off. I find intensity sometimes hard to find as well when you're like training away, because
true.
Kind of there, because you're there for a reason. Like you kind of got to mingle and stuff, and sometimes it's hard to find that intensity.
Yeah, I think we were good that way. We trained...
because we were training with you guys. Because training I wasn't worried about all, because I knew I was going to be with you guys. So I didn't training normally. It's not the part that normally falls. Yeah. Because I always know that when you're away, you're training with other athletes and other pros, or you guys like that. You're going to have the best sessions you've ever had. That's just given. It's more the recovery phase, more the sleep and getting the meals in on time and having some rest. That's the bit that ends up becoming the pitfall. That's the bit that you don't end up.
Let me ask you this. This is a good example. So I felt like the training session at Bev's that we had together wasn't as good as the training sessions that we had here at my gym.
Yeah.
But is that because it was my gym, or like did you guys feel that way too, or is it were they all the same?
There was so much going on in New York, like the sleep was off. The travel, like we were in car, it was everything.
Yeah, because I felt like the New York session was good, but I felt like there was so many machines to use. We're like, which one are we going to use? We're going to use this. We're going to use that. Sometimes I feel like if you're in a gym for the first time, when there's too many options,
it's shit workout, man. Normally,
you know what I mean.
I trained at Bev's a couple of times, and because there's so much you want to try. Like you say, you pick things out of just look, not necessarily for practicality. And then, and then you come away like, do you know what? I probably should have done. But you don't know unless it's your gym, unless you train there often. You find
I feel that way about the whole US though. It's like
too much.
You guys have everything, and you have too many options. And when we go over there, we almost just like, oh crap, are we like, oh, there's all these things. But I think when in the UK, it's very limited. You're already straightforward. Everything's straightforward. No matter where you go in the UK, it's the same shops, the same sort of gym style, the same. Everything is the same. So it doesn't matter where you are. You pretty much
food, especially Samson. Do you find with food when you're out there, like what chicken should I buy? Is that 10 different, 15, 20
10 different style of chicken, 100 different style of steaks, 100 different style of rice, and whatever. You're like, holy shit. So I think having a little less option gives you less time.
Sometimes less is more.
That's the Costco model. I watched this documentary on Costco. You guys have Costco or something like it?
Yeah. We got Costco.
Yeah, we do.
So I watched this documentary on Costco, and they said they only have certain options for a reason. Like, how like if you go in there, you can only buy like 500 capsule Advil. There's only like 2 different brands. There's not like 18 brands and like 5 different sizes. It's like you get 2 brands and they're both like massive. That's it. That's your choice.
Yeah.
And in the documentary, they're saying they do it on purpose. They're like, look, these are our selections. You come in, you buy these selections. That's it.
Keep it simple.
And I think it kind of makes sense, because sometimes, like Samson said, like I've shopped in the States too, and I'm like, there's so many different options for one thing, and it's a good thing, but at the same time, if it's your first time there, you're like, fuck, what chicken do I eat? Fucking, you know what? Or you just get overloaded with wanting to try everything.
This is just life in general, isn't it? Like that, like where there's so much option, it carries over into everything. Like I bet when you first wanted a bike, you were like, "What the fuck am I doing? Like, what bike should I get?"
I called Ben. I was like,
because there's so much choice.
You didn't fucking listen to me at all. It was pointless.
I'm never riding with Ben again. By the way, I'm not allowed. My wife said I'm not allowed to ride with Ben anymore.
You're too dangerous, Ben.
We rode so sensibly.
No, because me and Ben are a lot alike. So he would go fast, then I would want to go fast.
Yeah,
it's like, and then we just Yeah.
We
And then
barely
they
went
leave me
fast at
behind,
any
and
point.
I'm like, "What the fuck is going on? Why you guys realize I'm not from here? Where you going?
Oh, limit.
Hey, I didn't know. Hey,
I'm on the
that
wrong
was my
side
first
of the
time.
road.
That
I'm
was
riding
my
on
first time
motorbike
in
I don't ride
Canada.
normally."
So
Okay, so let's tell everybody, because nobody kind of knows what happened. So because the videos aren't out yet, but they will be. So me and Ben went for a ride first. We just ride into the gym, and then the next night, I said to
no,
Samson,
that same night. The same night.
the same night, yeah, it was later on. We weren't going to go out because we were tired from training. We trained legs that day. We were wiped out. And then I was like, we're just sitting around doing nothing. Let's go for a ride. So we jump on the bike. Samson gets on the 3-wheeler, and me and James are on the motorcycles.
You and James.
Me and Ben are on the motorcycles, and Summer goes to Samson. She goes, "Hey, the throttle on the 3-wheeler is really like it's very sensitive. So just be careful."
Yeah.
Samson's like, yeah, no problem, because he rode it last year. We go to leave the driveway, and all I feel is Ben takes off. I'm second, and all I feel is wham. I'm like, what the fuck? No. I look. I park my bike. I get off. The right bag on my fucking Harley is in pieces, and Samson is in a bush.
Oh, I hope you got that video.
Oh man,
I do have it on video. Actually,
good. Good.
Oh man, that was like a moment, man. That was messed up because
Samson felt horrible. I was like,
I bet you felt really bad. I know, because
of course I felt really bad, man. He was like I'm not sure. Oh man, he was like, what the fuck? Do you know the one thing was funny about it? Like they pulled off, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give them some time to go move on first before I start going, just so I don't go into the back of him. I gave all that time. He got to the end of his driveway, and I gave all that time, and I literally just tapped this thing, and he just went off. And he almost like it caught you so quick by surprise, you forget what the brake was.
Wow.
You kind of like what? And it was
you can't even process.
Yeah. Oh man, that was
anyway. I picked up all the parts and put them in the garage, and then the three of us went on a nighttime ride. It was pretty good. You
got told off halfway through,
dude. So this is the thing. So the three of us are gonna go for a ride. My wife goes, I'm gonna put Mel in the truck and we'll follow you. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, this is a bad idea. But I know, like, when somebody's out of town, I guess Summer just wanted to show Mel around. So I'm like, all right, it won't be a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was a bad idea. They must have stopped us. Like,
we were chilling. We were chilling, by the way, on this ride. It was just
like, boys, stop.
Yeah. Every like, I don't know, every 10 minutes, she'd pull up next to us, be like, slow down, you're going too fast. And then at one point, we pull up to a red light, and it's a 3-lane. So it's like I'm in one lane, Ben's in the other, and Samson's in the other. And I'm like, we're all gonna take off. Like, for sure. We're gonna so Summer gets out of the truck, comes over and runs. You see it on video. She's behind me. She gets out of the truck, runs up to my bike, and she grabs my arm, and she's like, slow down, you're going too fast.
Oh, no.
The fucking light turns green. And I just got yelled at. So I'm like, I take off slow.
He's still gone.
These two are fucking gone. I'm like,
I didn't see Summer. I was like, fuck it.
I didn't see. I saw it, and I was like, what the hell is happening? And Ben takes off. So I'm like, okay, we're going.
As soon as Ben took off, Samson fucking took off.
I'm like, because you guys, you used to that. You used to ride in the US. I don't know how to ride in the US, so I'm following whatever you guys did. So when these guys are cutting through traffic, I'm thinking I'm going to get left behind and I'm going to end up lost. So I'm like, this is the worst case scenario for me. Is if I lose them, I'm literally going to be this dude just riding around going, This is so.
So
I had to keep up.
No, this is so bullshit.
Yeah, I had to keep up. You guys,
I know the feeling.
In the truck behind all of us.
He was behind me. What are they gonna do behind me? He's in the truck.
I'll tell you why he's saying that, because his wife was giving him shit for driving too fast. So now he's blaming it on us.
Protected himself.
I wasn't going to blame it on you. It's all your fault.
You should have seen how big he looked on this fucking 3-wheeler.
The helmet was the best thing.
I'm literally getting Mario Kart. If you've ever seen Super Mario Kart, you're literally getting those vibes.
James.
Yeah.
So I have this helmet it's a modular helmet, which means the front flips up.
Yeah.
So it was I put it on him, and it's like it barely fits his fucking head, right? And I try to put the front down, and I can't. It can't close it.
No,
So I leave the front. And Samson's riding around this helmet. His fucking face is squished into it, and the top is still up like this.
Oh.
And then he's got this black bomber jacket on. So now you have this,
bigger.
320-pound guy wearing like a
Plus
parachute.
a bomber jacket, yeah, catching the wind.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was a good time though.
We didn't ride that.
Love
The only time we rode a bit Larry was after we went to the laundromat on the way back from there.
Oh
yeah.
That's when we got, because we left them because they were in the truck again. We loaded on the last day. We loaded the clothes in the back of that pickup.
Yeah. And
then we're like, okay, we'll meet you at home. And that's when we took off.
James, are you going to come to Texas?
I want to try. Yeah, it's June, isn't it? June.
It's like 3 weeks.
I'm not. I don't think I'm doing anything in 3 weeks. So yeah.
Yeah, you are. You come to Texas.
We're flying in the 20th, right, Samson?
Yeah, we are. That was Dallas one.
We're flying in the 20th, and then we're there. We're in Dallas for 3 days, and then me and Ben are going to go to Houston to see Lee.
Where are you going then, Samson, from Dallas? Are you just going to Dallas?
I'm going to Arizona, and then I come back.
You got the Arizona. Yeah.
So Samson's going to and from though, because he's coming into Dallas to guest pose at the Dallas USA Fit Games or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Then he goes to Arizona you're going to Arizona for Olympia TV, right?
Yeah.
And then he's back in Dallas with us again for 3
Is that where the Olympia TV is in Arizona?
Yeah, I think so. It sounds like that's what they said.
Interesting.
Okay. So, and then Samson leaves on the Sunday, and then me and Ben go to Houston for 2 days.
Is that before or after we go to El Paso?
That's after El Paso.
After
El Paso.
So El Paso strikes again.
Anybody watching who is from El Paso, we're going to be at King of Iron Nutrition the 23rd on the Friday. Is the 23rd, I believe. Yeah, Friday the 23rd. We'll be there we're going to be doing some posing. Samson's going to be doing like a little bit of posing clinic, short Q&A seminar, I believe, or training session. And then just a meet and greet at the store.
Nice.
So, and I think Guy's going to be I think Guy's going to be out there too for Uprising Extracts for his brand. So, and then James, we're going to force James to come too. So,
of course, me. I've got Lisbon as well. I've got Lisbon on the 8th to the 11th. So
yeah, perfect.
You'll be back home? My travel shoes on.
Are you going to come on? Are you going to do it? Ben's got a whole setup.
Well, Jannika's home tonight from Norway for a few days, so PA.
Hey, I got a gym here.
Talk to the PA.
Yeah.
I'll talk to her, and then I'll see because
James, I'm going to get on a big cycle so I can hang with you when you come down here to train.
Just hang with me. No, you can.
I'm going to start right now. So by 3 weeks from now, it'll be like filled in.
21-day blast.
3-week blast cycle. And then when
25 pounds up.
Did your weight go up while we were traveling in New York? You must have gone up.
It must have gone up
from the food.
Yeah, you were pounding food. When we were against Canada, you were fucking every evening. You were fucking ripping the ass out of it.
I don't remember eating a lot.
What?
What did I eat?
Every evening, you fuckers. You ordered out every evening.
Well, it was only because I have a guest here. Samson wanted to eat, so we had to order in.
I didn't eat.
Well, that's your fucking fault. You ate one night. You ate like
yeah, one night. I said I was going to eat.
I only
did your weight? Your weight must have gone up.
It must have gone up.
No, I'm still sitting like 278.
260. 278.
278.
What? You're telling shit. G 278.
He's 278. Yeah, he is.
Really?
I'm fucking.
He went back on cycle. He's fucking.
Wait. I did not go back on cycle. I did not go back on cycle. That's not true.
On TRT.
Running a cycle. I'm
running a
therapeutic dose. Okay, now anti-aging.
Wait a second. I just not put out false information here. I'm running 1 shot a week. That's it.
Okay.
But because I'm a hyper responder, I gained like 20 pounds.
Not a hyper eater. You're a hyper responder. I promise.
Anyway, no, I honestly, James, I'm not joking. So I started doing, and people have heard this on the podcast before, so I'll be quick, but I was supposed to be doing 1 shot a week, and I always kept missing my shots. So I was doing like 1 shot a month.
Yeah.
So I started micro dosing. I started doing like I would load an insulin syringe and just do like 20 IU, which is about 50 milligrams a day, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
And I found that I could do it every day. Yeah, I could do it every day and it wouldn't annoy me.
Easier to remember.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden I started fucking putting on weight. I'm like, fuck.
Well, apparently microdosing is better as well for like your actual conversion.
I mean, who knew that going from 250 migs a month to 250 a week?
I didn't think I'd put on.
It's a pretty big difference, man.
Man, I didn't think I'd put on 20 fucking pounds. Like, what the fuck?
But see, here's the thing. But that's the thing. Like, we get so caught up, and I did it as well, of being like, oh, well, I need to run like a big cycle. But you know how much you can, little you can get away with if you're accurate.
That's not true. That's not true. I don't agree with. Well, okay, I believe it's half true. And the only reason I say that is because it's easier to put back on muscle or fill it back out after you've already had it.
But to get beyond that is different.
Yeah. Like I don't.
Yeah, no. Look, I agree that you're going to need to push the boundaries, right? To take your physique to a new place, of course.
Yeah.
But is it not surprising how little you can get away with?
You can hold a lot of body weight. I tell you guys, I was running 300 propionate and 300 Masteron for the last 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And my weight was sticking at 310.
Yeah.
And the only thing is I noticed in the last 2 weeks, digestion started to fail a little bit because the lack of anabolic kind of response from where I was previously on a cycle. So it's just your actual appetite starts to take a hit after a while. So then it's harder to keep up, but you can technically keep that weight on if you are able to eat.
I will agree with Fouad. Like if you've got the foundation of tissue there, like I'm running like really low amount. I hover around the 500 nanograms a deciliter. Right? I use my lab work to gauge what I'm taking. And I can hold, like, it's hard for me to drop.
Well, surprisingly, you're not eating that much food either.
Yeah.
But I think it's like Dennis James told me this. He said, look, it doesn't matter if you stop taking gear. It doesn't matter if you stop 100%. He goes, if you're eating any decent amount of food and training, you're not going to lose all your muscle. There's no way. He's like,
your body's still very capable of protein synthesis.
Dennis told me, he's like, I had to stop working out to actually like get smaller.
Yeah.
The only way I got my weight to actually, the scale weight to come down was where I started running, but then that tore my fucking shins apart. So, but it was the only way I could actually, I saw even on low food with a tiny bit of testosterone, if I was weight training, as long as I ran with it, like if I was walking or doing steady state, I wouldn't lose like weight. So
the question then is, at 250, I put on 20 pounds. If I add another 250, will I get to 300?
I knew you were gonna. To find out.
You know why I call this the Real Bodybuilding Podcast? Because there's no fucking bullshit. You know who I love the most in bodybuilding? You know, a lot of times you see bodybuilders talk about gear and they talk about it like in this like proper manner. Look, I know I'm not against everybody being healthy, and I think you should get blood work done. I think you should be smart, but bodybuilding is a little reckless. Like at the end of the day, and when I see guys like, I've said this before on the podcast, when I see guys like the Trend Twins, I don't know if you guys have followed their page or watched their page at all. I'm like, that's the shit. Like that, I'm jealous of the way those guys like
where they are in their life, what they're doing.
Dude, those guys are just like, I don't give a fuck about being perfect. I'm taking a little bit of gear. I'm eating a lot of fucking food. I'm driving fast cars, and I'm just having a good time.
Well, forget the gear. That's how we trained in New York and Canada.
Yeah.
It was the same mentality. We don't have to be perfect. We just have to get a good hard session in. It doesn't matter if this machine is not the best.
The best one.
Like, fuck, gives a fuck. Just
train. James, I've never asked you that. James, how do you feel? Have you seen the Trend Twins stuff at all?
No, but I know what they're about. I think, I don't give.
Do you think is that something you think is like more guys should aspire to be instead of? Because we talk about all the time how guys are trying to be like too perfect.
Yeah.
And they're trying to overcomplicate things. And I guess when I point to like the Trend Twins, it's not necessarily like, I'm not saying you should be reckless, but I feel like they're not trying to be perfect. They're just enjoying bodybuilding.
Yeah, so, I think that matters in everything. I think you need to just enjoy it, whatever you're doing.
This is the Trend Twins, James. If you hadn't gone on there to look at their shit,
and then they're obviously very open about what they take as well.
Yeah, and like I said, this isn't about being like totally reckless, but I'm more talking about just enjoying yourself a little bit and like not.
Yeah, I think when you apply too much like sensibility to anything, it ends up becoming something that weighs heavy on you. You end up becoming a little bit too
trying to find video.
I think
you become a victim of it because it's encompassing, all encompassing. Like to be able to just go in the gym and enjoy what you do is a rarity these days. You know,
yeah.
How many people truly just go to the gym, love the training, go home, have a meal, and just like actually have enjoyed what they've done, don't have a plan. Like aren't like, okay, well, this is me trying to be this or that. Like, it's good to have a plan, yes, but I mean, like, what about just doing it for the love of it and having fun, like you said?
I got a DM from a guy the other day because we talked about this on a previous podcast, and he said he was thankful because he was stressed out about trying to be right about everything, and he was just thankful that that he heard other people say that you don't have to be perfect.
It's unrealistic, man. No one should have to feel like they're trying to be something unrealistic. It's not a very healthy place to be. It's a sad place to be because you'll never feel like you're doing anything right.
Well, just answer this question. How many guys have become pros without being perfect?
Dude, none of us had a clue.
All of us.
Right?
I bet me and Samson had no idea what the fuck we were doing.
We didn't have a clue what we're doing. We just love training, right?
I didn't even know about fucking any blood work shit back then. I had no idea about any of that. I didn't know what was what.
But this is what I'm saying. And I don't want this to be like the anti-learning podcast. I think obviously you should learn as you go, but I'm talking more about like you can still be a fucking great bodybuilder and not be perfect, I guess is my whole point.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Anyway.
There's a purity to some flaws, sometimes.
I think
the people are jumping past the basics. And there's a lot of runway out of just the good old basics.
Yeah. Yeah, I think with bodybuilding as well, it's never 1 + 1 = 2. Everybody's trying to figure out the ideal number to get the perfect workout, the perfect set, the perfect program to get bigger. And that's not what bodybuilding is about.
I like
that. Yeah, because he's the one that's figured it out.
No. I
like it. I think Samson's the one guy right now that's got whatever he's doing. He's got it locked.
No, I just like that analogy because that's true. A lot of people are like 1 + 1 = 2. I found the perfect solution, and he's right. There is no 1 + 1 = 2.
No.
Yeah,
and it's a continuously changing environment,
Yeah,
because it involves the human body, and the human body never the same.
No, it never.
I'm a huge believer in here as well, and like James was saying, like if you lose, or I see a lot of people like cripple themselves with overanalysis, right?
Yeah,
and then they lose that passion, lose that. Like if you're not like like getting on stage, that's the end goal and whatever. But you know how much time we spend in the gym versus on stage.
Yeah.
If you're not fucking loving every fucking second and every set in that gym, what are you doing? Why are you doing this?
Why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Like you've got to have if this is happy, this will follow.
Yeah.
Like things will fall into place if you're in a good headspace. But if you're forcing things because this guy says that this is the perfect way to execute and this is the way to
listen, 90% of people that have won the Olympia, 99%, probably there's probably only 1 or 2 did it to look a certain way. Majority of them did it because they love training and it went that way. Yeah, it went that way. You ask Ronnie, he trained to train, Branch trained to train, like these guys trained to train, and what came of it is the physiques.
Yeah. So okay, I don't want to sound like a broken record because I bring that up a lot, but I want to move on to Hunter. Ben, I wanted to talk about Hunter because he's made some fucking really, really crazy changes, and I'm expecting. I don't want to make expectations too high, but I feel like this is going to be Hunter's best year, like his coming out party, because he feel like the progress pictures I've seen him post and a couple that you've sent me that are kind of just your check-ins are absolutely like
he's definitely locked in, isn't he, mentally?
Oh yeah, I mean this was over a week ago. He's even since then made. I mean, you saw yesterday. Like,
there's a roundness to his physique that wasn't there before.
Yeah.
Like the shoulders look really round, the chest is really round.
Yes.
This fucking hamstring drop is crazy. Like, and even his back, like the back was the biggest thing for him, and even his back double is actually starting to look like, look at the size of the fucking arm there, and like, and the work he's doing with his waist is really starting to show as well.
Oh yeah.
Everything's falling into place. He's starting to put together a physique now that we all expected and hoped for, myself included, and like he's spoken on this.
Look
like,
at that.
He did things.
Oh, look at it. He's pulling a vacuum in there.
Yeah.
He never had that. He never had that last year.
No.
I never
He's really figuring himself out now. He's figuring out what he needs to do. There was a long period of his career where he could, I don't want to say get away with certain things, but he did it his way, right? And they worked tremendously well for him up to a point. And then we had to have a chat and say, look, listen, that got you here, but to take you beyond that, we have to correct some things. And credit to him, because he wasn't in the headspace after the Olympia really to really lock in, but we kind of made it happen. Just
that says a lot, because I get that.
Yeah, James, you really can get it, because I know we've had that conversation. And Fouad can speak on this, and Samson, and like, even if you win a show, there's always that little dip after a show, right? I feel.
Yeah.
But when you lose a show, or it really doesn't go like how you hoped it, and then the onslaught he got online, like he was in a real tough spot and questioning himself and his ability. So he's dug deep, and now this is starting to click, and that's where I said to you yesterday, I think he's dangerous now, because he's starting to get confident. And when someone's confident, and he's seeing what the new approach is doing for him, and then he's adding the confidence to that, and now it's just going to snowball.
Well, it's not only confidence; it's a confidence with that ability and those genetics. Like now, the one piece of the puzzle that was missing. It's funny because most people have the opposite, right? It's not, he has the genetics and the work ethic, but he was lacking the confidence. And usually people have some confidence but don't have the other two. And it's like, now if he added that, you're like, holy fuck, it's dangerous. So, but the one thing I wanted to say was, what you said is actually true. I don't think you should shy away from it. A lot of bodybuilders do find what they can get away with. Like, it's not about necessarily cutting corners, but you're like, if I can still look amazing and do this, then why not? And I think you're right. It takes sometimes you bump up against a wall and you're like, oh, wait a minute. This, like you said, it only took me so far. Now I got to I got to find the next level. So
finding that next level is not easy either. Like we were saying earlier, it's very difficult. I think he's been smart by putting everything in place, by putting, one of the main benefits is by putting, when he started to put together that gym, being able to keep yourself away from a lot of people that can influence you negatively. I think that's one of the big things. That's why I don't train. I haven't been training at my Kings for a while now. I've been training at a little private place, because sometimes in order for you to be able to continuously keep that new positive mindset, you just have to keep yourself away from people that can influence that change, like for the negative, because people don't get you. They're not you. They're not in a position Hunter's in. Anyone Hunter's around isn't him, and they're not on a, no disrespect, but you haven't got what's riding. A lot's riding on his progress. No one else can understand that. So by having his own space and being able to be in his own thoughts, I think that's a very important thing as well, Ben.
Yeah, he's one of the ones this year I'm really looking to like. So I know people are going to have, obviously a different opinion than me on this, but he was 7th last year, and he was definitely not near his best. And I think this year I see him breaking into the top 6 or top 5 if he keeps going on the trajectory he's going.
Yeah, 100%. He's a top 6 guy for sure.
Yeah, because
we said this before the previous Olympia. Like, if you look, we were saying about what he can be.
Yeah, I mean, look, the guy's been 4th and 7th, and both times
he went 8, 4, 7.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, he's been,
and he hasn't been his best yet.
That's where I was getting at. It's like top 10 3 times and still not at his best. Yeah. So that's pretty crazy to say. So he's got Tampa and then Texas, right, Ben?
Yes.
Yeah, is there anybody?
11.
I know Andrew's doing Texas, so that'll be a rematch from the Olympia that people are looking for. And Andrew seems to have figured out his conditioning a little bit more. So
he's looking good.
But so is Hunter. He's figured out kind of his body too. So it's going to be interesting to see them both come back better.
Yeah. And they're very different as well. Like you look at the space that Hunter occupies in his frame, he's heavily muscled. Andrew's kind of aesthetic. So it's interesting to have that comparison as well. I like that.
So James, I know you're a big Andrew fan. Do you think with those two physiques like that you just mentioned and the difference in them, do you think Andrew can pull ahead of Hunter?
I think it's very difficult when you have two people that are quite different.
What do you what look do you prefer? I guess let's say that.
I relate to Hunter's more because clearly, obviously,
he's white and you're white.
Yeah, that's like just blunt, you know, like when it comes from a physical standpoint.
Yeah,
you know, do I wish I could look like Andrew? For fucking hell, imagine you could look like Andrew. Like, it'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to come down to them at their best, both of them. It's like I don't even know how you pick that. It's like kind of Ross and fucking Tonio at this last show.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like they're like you're looking at them both; they're both really good.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone's better than anyone. Like I think they're both exceptional, and I think at that level, pretty much a lot of the guys are on a level, and then it just comes down to on the day, like what can you score against them rather than what can you score for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know?
My thought on it is,
I know you want a straight answer.
Yeah, I knew you were going to walk the fence on that one.
It's because it's just so tight.
Well, it is, and look, whoever beats the other person, it's going to be by inches. It's not going to be by miles,
dude. Millimeters.
Yeah, but that being said, in my opinion, I feel like Andrew has the potential to be Mr. Olympia one day, but he still has to fill that frame out more.
Yeah, more hamstring.
Yeah,
a bit thicker in the pec.
More side, more front to back thickness, right? Like to the side. Yeah. So I think
Hunter's dominating in that area. Hunter's got the thickness in those areas. Yes,
that's what I'm saying. So I think if they're both in equal condition, I think Hunter's filled out his frame more. Yeah, I think he's filled out his frame more. So at this point,
then it just comes down to if they prefer shape.
Yes,
because that's a part.
Yeah, but
do you prefer
Hunter,
shape?
But Hunter's got great shape. Hunter's
not
losing.
Yeah. I'm not saying anyone's. They're different. Is what I mean.
Yeah,
so it comes down to preference of shape.
But I think, I mean, definitely Andrew's more statuesque, but Hunter does have a great X frame. Like he's
thick. He's thick.
Yeah,
you know, he's got that front to back. You know, turned side on. You hear the hamstrings touching the calf. The fucking shoulders are thick. Like it's a density that he has that if in really good condition,
he does. Hunter occupies more space within that frame.
There's no gaps. If Hunter does that, there's no gap.
Yeah.
I think people are going to be, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I think people are going to be really shocked by Hunter this year. I have a feeling he's going to show up like people have never seen him before.
I want him to, because he deserves to.
Okay. So on to the Toronto Pro.
Ian.
Yeah.
Ian. I think he looks really. I think he's going to be really dug out at this show. Like I think the look's going to be a little bit different. I don't know if he'll take up as much room. He probably will because he's a fucking big man. But I think he's going to be in such good condition. It's going to separate him from the rest.
I think.
Have you been privy to anything privately?
No, not really. I just have a fit. Like I've seen how he's dieting. I've seen the approach. It's very old school. You know, the double cardio sessions, the less food. When you've got as much muscle as Ian, you can afford to do that. And I think if he's even even if he took up a centimeter or two less space because of it, but the condition is like lights out, because I think it's going to be lights out. James, I think it's going to be like you'll be able to see Dorian's skin on him.
I know you love it when I disagree with you.
Disagree with me, please.
I think this is going to be the best Ian we've ever seen. Because
I just will.
And I don't think it's going to be a loss of size. And I only say that because Patrick did an amazing job with him, but I feel like Patrick is very, very heavy on conditioning, and maybe he wasn't always as full as he could be. Whereas I think Matt tends to bring his guys in a little bit fuller, and Ian has no problem getting in shape. So I think we're going to see the biggest, most conditioned Ian, because he worked with Matt before and they brought a great look, but he's bigger now.
I think what Matt's good at is he knows how much he can suck someone down before putting them back up. And he knows the time frames best out of any coach. I think he's the one that knows how dug out he can get you, like, because he pushes them down harder than other coaches do. Yeah. But he also really does know how to stop and then reverse that, and get them their best on stage. And that's kind of where Honey is such a good coach. And I think Matt is one of the best at that process. And I think that's where Ian finds confidence in Matt this year. I think, let's take nothing away from Patrick. Patrick's amazing. Yeah. Patrick will land the plane really nice and well. I think Matt is almost like not riskier, but like quite ballsy.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? So we'll see.
I don't know. I think he's gonna be full as fuck, and with the added muscle, like if he goes on, like I think at the Olympia, I think he said he was somewhere between 55 and 60, 255 and 260 pounds.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna be around 260, but sharper and fuller.
Yeah. Then that's going to show like crazy.
Yeah. So I think
I hope he looks like he did kind of condition wise in Spain in his first pro show win,
like
but
this
like
is,
with the new muscle.
like this is nuts. You
Yeah,
know?
look at it. It's dry, bro. Dry as fuck.
Like,
But is he not? That's Ian's calling card, right? That's nothing new.
Yeah, but I don't think he's ever been. I don't think he's been as hard as he can.
I think he's been as hard as he can.
I
I think
I think condition
I think
hardness
he's
has not
been
been ever missing.
I don't know. I feel like Ian could
No.
be more. I feel like Ian's got a little bit
No.
more.
wait. This is
More.
No,
I think he's fullness.
No,
I think
he's
being fuller will show a more conditioned look.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's
Maybe that's what it is. I
condition.
think I haven't seen him on stage as separated as I know he can be.
I think that's what James is saying. It's not
Yeah,
a matter of body.
Maybe not less
fat.
body fat, but
Yeah.
just I feel like he could have presented the grain more on stage because he's grainy as fuck.
That I can live
Yeah.
with. I don't
That
think
I
he missed
can
the
live with.
point at any point on
No.
condition.
No, I just feel like he could be. I don't know. I feel like Ian's got. I think there's like when you get really lean, I feel like there's some fat that remains in some areas that it's just really hard to get off, and unless you really know what you're doing, there's no point even trying. I feel like Matt seems to just know how to help get people into that position where they can literally be fat free,
I don't
like
know.
real fat free.
Okay.
Whether it's a fucking protocol thing or just a smart
I don't
coaching,
know.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's it, James. I think it's more that other coaches.
Depends, I know it's not that.
No. So hear me out for a second. I think other coaches can get them just as fat free, but I think if an athlete's not peaked properly, you don't see the detail,
Yeah.
and I think that's
So
where.
That's why.
Go, and I don't want to. This isn't about me, but go to Carl. Go to my profile.
Yeah, look at
Did
Carlos
you see-
Friday to Saturday.
The Friday night versus the
Yeah.
condition.
It's almost like Ian was somewhere in
He
between.
didn't lose body fat in
Yeah.
12 hours.
No, that's a
We
totally valid
just
point.
filled the fuck out of him because I recognized his physique being just dead.
Yeah, this one here,
this,
bottom right.
This
Yeah,
one,
that
right?
one. Yeah.
That's 10 hours, right? Or is it 10 hours?
And you can mistake
Something
that, like you say, for being
Yeah.
leaner.
Yeah, this looks like he's 2 weeks out.
Yeah. This the night before and then the morning of.
Yeah.
And all we
Guess-
did was
guess-
just
guess the
raid him
appearance.
full of fucking. I woke him up early and just started fucking feeding him and using some.
Guest appearance,
Extra.
bottom right, with Ben's face there.
Yeah.
No, I totally get that.
I think that displays maybe what you're trying to allude to. Is like if Ian he's already dug out, but if he can ram him.
So
full,
what we're
it
saying? Do we
might
think
be-
Ian? So is that what we're saying? We're saying Ian's previous look, maybe the last Olympia, he wasn't full.
Well, Ian knows he wasn't full last Olympia.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. So I'm asking you guys.
yeah,
Do you think
Ian-
that's what it was?
Ian has stated that like his opinion of the last peak was that he wasn't full, and I think he alluded to the fact that it was something to do with sodium manipulation and.
Well, I know him and Melissa spoke about that.
Yeah.
They weren't sure how much sodium they're doing because they didn't actually measure.
Yeah.
He said in the podcast, because he did a podcast with Melissa and I watched it earlier, he was like, one of the errors they kind of made is they didn't have a baseline for sodium. So they didn't know how to, when they had to increase it, they didn't really know how much to increase it by because it's 30% of what if you don't know how much your baseline is. So it's interesting. I'm not trying to promote his podcast on here.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
But honestly, if you guys want to hear a little bit more about that, like on the Melissa one, it was
James,
quite nice actually.
James,
yeah, here you go.
I love these two. I want to promote their podcast.
Yeah.
So this is
the last one was really, really good.
Melissa and Courtney have a podcast. We talked about it on the last podcast. The Giver podcast. It's Melissa and Courtney, but they had Ian on the last episode.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a chance to watch it, but James said it's pretty telling.
So it's telling, and it's also very good for a lot of us bodybuilders out there that struggle with some of these mental things that Ian has struggled with as well.
Well, one of the things I love about Ian is he has anxiety, and so do I. So,
when you watch that, you feel like you're not alone. If you watch that, you feel like you're.
That's what I love about Ian is that he has anxiety but doesn't try and hide it, and it gives people a chance to be like, oh, I have that issue too. So it's very it can help a lot of people. So if you have any,
I don't know a bodybuilder that doesn't really suffer from any anxiety.
Yeah, it's kind of hard,
you know.
Yeah.
Well, there's like anything, there's different degrees, right? Some people,
Yeah. So I mean, but everyone has a slight. I have it on that with that, or I have it with this, or.
I think the difference is for some people it's crippling, and for some people they can deal with it and just kind of go about their day. So I think that's the difference between what I dealt with, or what Ian's dealt with, or like, you know, Cedric used to deal with it. So like, you know, I think a lot of different people have, like you said, a lot of bodybuilders have it, but it's just different degrees.
I've told you mine's terrible. Like I don't leave the house sometimes because I go into a fix. Like I paralyze myself because I can't make a simple decision. You know, like it's like I should do something, and then I walk to the door. Like I'll walk out the front, and then I'll stand still, and I go, oh shit, and then I just turn around, and go back in because I'm like, I don't want to face whatever I've got to face.
You know, James, I got a question for you, because when we're on here, we've been doing this podcast together for like 2 or 3 fucking years now.
Yeah,
you're always very stoic in your opinions and your thoughts, but then you say something like that, and the two don't mix.
I don't know. The reality of me is I freeze a lot, and I don't know how to make decisions, and I struggle majority of the time, and I've just blunted my way through most of my life by force. So I don't know.
James, do you do what I do? Because I do a lot of that, and I think Fouad can probably attest to this. Where I have this real strong OCD with food and anxiety about it, to the point where I have to ask Denise to tell me what to eat sometimes. And I'm a coach. I'm like, I know what I'm doing, but when it comes to me, I'm like, no, I'm just not going to eat. And she's like, you need to eat. Go and eat like a fucking, like last night, she was like, go eat pizza because I was sick and everything else. She's like, just go fucking eat. Because I'm like so wound up and bound up and can't make a decision for myself because I'm so used to making decisions for everyone else.
Yeah.
When it comes to me, do you do the same thing with Yannicka and be like, hey, should I just
if I'm honest with you, I think that I don't know, I've just reached a point where I have more questions in my head than answers, and then because I have so many questions, it's impossible to solve any of them because I can't fixate on any one answer at one time. So I end up having so many thoughts that I never deal with any one of them, and then they compile, and I find myself in a position where it causes me just to stay still because it's safe. You know?
Yeah. I said this to Paul the other day. So I think that's a symptom of getting older, because when you're young, you think you know everything. When you're young, you think you know everything, so you just make decisions and you're like, yeah, I know I'm right.
Yeah.
But I think at this point, I make decisions and I always figure I'll pay the consequences afterwards. Yeah. So instead of being paralyzed, right? Like I know I'll give you a stupid example. So like, let's say I want to buy something, it costs like $3 or $4 grand. I'm like, I don't want to spend that money. And I'll waffle about it for a day or two. And then I'll be like, fuck it, I'm doing it. And I'll do it. And then a week or two later, I'll regret it. But I don't care. Like I made the mistake, and now I'll do it. But I won't. But I won't sit there and waffle about it forever. Like eventually, I'll just choose, and then I'll fix. If it was a mistake, I'll fix it afterwards.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's better than being paralyzed. It's like I'd rather make the wrong decision than not make any decision.
Yeah, I don't like. Okay, so last week my training partner Nathaniel did the PCA. It's like another federation bodybuilding. It's a good one. It's not. It's not. It's where Dean White came from originally, and some other guys, you know. And he ended up winning the universe, like he done really well. And I should have gone. I said I'm going to go, and it got to the day, and I didn't go.
Why?
He was there for 2 days.
Oh, why?
Because I just froze. Just contemplated everything, like food.
Oh, it was one of those.
I didn't sort out my apartment. I didn't know where to stay, where to put my car.
Yeah.
And I just it all just got too much for me. And then it was in the morning, and I was like, I should still go. I find myself, it's really bad, but I find myself with a question that has a yes or no, I find myself having, for some reason, feeling like there's 1,000 answers.
Yeah.
And I contemplate every possible avenue. And for some reason, it's just a really bad thing I have going on. And it's hard. Like, that's why it's easier when Yannicka's around, because I at least have dictated to a degree.
Yeah, but
like you said,
I'm going to message Yannicka now and tell her to book your flight to Texas. So I'm not leaving with you.
James, let me ask you, though, a serious question about that. And I've said this to my wife before, because she can get like that sometimes.
Yeah.
What's the worst case scenario?
I know. And that's the thing. I know there's no bad scenario. After this fucking universe, I sat on the stairs after he told me he won. I sat on the stairs. I didn't move for like 4 hours.
Because you felt bad about yourself for not going.
I felt terrible. I was on my own. I'm like, why am I sitting in my fucking house? Like, still with no one around, when I had an opportunity to go and spend time with friends and watch someone do well.
But that's how I used to be. That's why now I choose to make a decision instead of no decision.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what's the worst case scenario? I'll give you this really stupid example. So we bought a new TV for the living room, and we put it up, and the box was in the garage, the box for the TV.
Yeah.
So I throw away the TV. I throw away the box for the TV. I throw it away, and the garbage takes it away. The garbage man takes it away, right? And my wife goes, I can't find the remote. She goes, was the remote in the box? I said, I don't know. She goes, why didn't you check the box? I was like, well, I don't know. I thought, why would you leave it in the box and throw it in the garage? I thought it was just the box was garbage. She goes, well, now what are we going to do? The remote might be gone. I'm like, what are we going to do? Who gives a shit? And she goes, well, what do you mean? It's horrible. I'm like, Summer, what's the worst case scenario? She goes, well, we don't have a remote. I'm like, yeah, I'll go on Amazon. I'll buy one for $20. Yeah. What's the, like, just like,
I'm better at it. I'm
like,
better
bring it down.
I when other people ask me for the advice, I can give it.
I noticed that, but that's why I said, why are you so stoic?
I don't know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Fucking,
I'm trying. But that's what I was saying.
This is why I went to therapy to try and find some fucking answers. You know.
But that's what I was saying to you. I do the same thing where I'm like, I'll talk myself out. I make decisions for everyone else. Like I have a client be like, and I'll be like, do this. It's definitely do this. I know exactly what to do with you. And then it comes to me, and I'm like, or like,
well, Ben, that's because you have an eating disorder.
No. So there's that, but like there's other things. Like this Saturday, there's a family reunion, and for Denise's family, she's like, "Are you going to come?" I'm like, well, I've got an athlete competing at the Toronto show, and I'm like, that's out of my normal. I want to be here because I know I can be right here, and so I've told her no. But I know that one, I've only got one guy competing, so how much time does he really need from me? I could probably go with them and hang out with my son and wife family reunion, but I'm like, no. So I'm going to let them go, and I know what will happen. I'll check him in, do the prejudging, and then I'll sit there and be like, I should have gone. Yeah. I should have fucking gone. Like, what am I doing here?
Same thing has happened to me. Same things happened to me this week. Yeah. So I'm going to Lisbon. I was asked by Yannicka to go to a christening for her nephew. And I kind of got in a fit, and I was like, I can't go. And then I got asked to go to Lisbon for bodybuilding. And because it's bodybuilding, I was like, yes, I'll go. And it's during the time that the christening would have been. And then after I was like, wow, I said yes to bodybuilding, but I didn't say yes to Yannicka and the family.
Yeah.
And I feel like bodybuilding's done that, like does that to you.
Yeah.
And that's like, I say that because like Ben's talking about meals and eating and being comfortable. That's bodybuilding.
Yeah, but the christening doesn't sound fun. I wouldn't want to go to that either.
Well, there you go. Maybe I'm right then. Maybe I am just a man. That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, but I did feel bad after. I was like,
that doesn't sound like fun, man. I'd be like, nah, I'm not going to that.
Okay. So it's not just me, because I needed to confirm that, because I was like, wow, I feel awful.
I don't know.
What about you, Samson? What have you done?
I don't do family things.
Okay, sweet. So it's not just me.
Ben,
what about you? Ben,
the thing is, my family already knows. They already know that.
Oh, do you know what it is?
I'm avoiding that family reunion because I have an athlete competing for like at 15 minutes, and I'm like, no, can't go. Fuck that.
Okay,
like, I have Wi-Fi and a phone and everything.
I need to just be around my own people. That's what it is.
Wait, Ben, you're saying something different. Ben, you're saying you want to go to the family outing, but you feel stuck.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't want to go. Oh, you don't want to go.
You don't want to go.
I feel like you should have.
But I know that I should go because my son's gonna I'm gonna miss out on this. Like, and they're gonna come back and show me pictures and be like, I should have been there. I'm gonna look back when I'm on my deathbed and be like, you're a fucking dick. You should have gone to that.
So I think I'm making sense of this. We're all this way now because, like you said earlier, we're getting older and you see it.
Yeah.
But when we were younger, we didn't even see it.
No, you're too selfish.
No.
Yeah.
When you're young, you're really selfish. You don't give a fuck.
So this
is that ignorance is nice because you don't feel guilty at any point.
Heed my word, listeners to this podcast now. Like, if you're in your 20s now, you will not understand any of this. Watch this again in 10 years, and you'll be sitting there like, wow, fuck. Because it changes once you're in your 30s and stuff. Like, I think all of us probably felt this occurring in our 30s. And I remember older people saying that shit to me, and I'm like, fuck off.
Okay, it's like, so we've solved the family issue you had, James, but that still doesn't make sense to why you didn't go see your buddy compete.
Oh, I don't know with that one.
You just gotta go. You just gotta fucking go.
Mm-hmm. Like I could have got in a car, with my food.
Do you
know it was as simple as breakfast not being the same breakfast I normally have.
Gives a shit.
Yeah.
Gives a shit.
That's the problem. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. Like, I was so fucking fixated on what my breakfast should be, and time was limited. I could have just gone out the door with chicken and rice and been like, "Oh well, it's only today."
I shouldn't act like this because I was exactly like you. Yeah.
Are you like that, Samson?
But I feel like I'm helping you. Don't be like I was.
Like, if you let's say you have a set breakfast, Jen, you're like, okay, well, I'm running out of time, but if I go out the door, I can take a protein shake and some fucking I don't know, rice cakes or some shit with me, that's the same fucking macros anyway, would you just go?
Yeah.
See, I didn't go.
I know exactly what you mean. I know, like, I think it's how important it is. I mean, I suppose if it's your friend that's doing it, then you would already know and you bite the bullet for it. But if it's just like something that is, it's a show, but it's not that really that important, it's an event that's not gonna really affect me that much, I'll be like, man, fuck it, I don't.
I think what it is partly as well, boys. Sorry, Ben, is that I know he's as chill as me and gets me.
Yeah,
because he's in the bodybuilding now. So he's like, if I say I can't go, he's like, bro, don't worry, I get anxiety. I know the anxieties.
Well, it's like this. Paul asked me to go to Toronto this weekend because he's judging the show, and I'm like, I don't know if I should go, man. Like, you're going to be judging. I can't hang out with you while you're judging anyway. I might skip it. And then Ian messaged me. He's like, hey, are you coming to the show? Because we're going to go to dinner after. I'd like you to come. And I'm like, I'll be there 100%.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I know Paul is okay with me not being there. He's not going to give a fuck. He'll be like, whatever. It's not going to affect our friendship. Whereas I'm like, I think Ian might be like upset that I'm not there.
Okay. So it depends on the person as well.
You know something that haunts me, James, because you were at this show. You remember when Luke handed, I think it was the UK, the British Grand Prix.
Yeah,
Nathan
when I got third.
won it.
Yeah.
Nathan
Samson
won it, and so all three of you, all of you are on stage. And Luke came and did
that picture. Yeah, and made everyone look small at the time.
I was supposed to go to that. I was supposed to go to, and I wasn't there. I wasn't there because the same, exactly what you just said.
That paralysis.
The PCA. Yeah. I went, that's all day. It's up in Leicester, I think it was, right? And I was like,
Watford or something. Yeah.
It was like an hour or two drive. And I was like, no, I don't want to go. Like, and I talked myself out of it. You know how fucking much that haunts me, because I'm like, well, that's a memory I could have had with Luke and you guys and this and that. Yeah. And it's like that shit haunts me now.
I know.
And I have to talk myself out of that. Like, that's what I'm saying about this weekend. I'm like, and my default is to go, fuck it, you go, have a lovely time. I'll see you when you get back.
Yeah.
And then I go,
I think we owe it to ourselves to be able to enjoy ourselves, man. I think we always do. If we do make it to these things, we do end up enjoying them. Because I've noticed that every time.
Listen, my mom, you want to talk about guilt. So my mom used to beg me to come see her.
Yeah.
And I would try and pop by once a week, but if I showed up every day for 5 hours, it should have been in heaven.
Yeah.
So now I look at it and I'm like, fuck, I should have went to see her more. I should have went to fucking have lunch. I should have done this. I should have that. And you're right, James. Every time it was like, well, I got to eat my meal. Or I got to do this. I got to do that.
Oh, yeah.
But every time I went, I would be so happy after leaving.
Yeah.
So it's
I think that's why we've got to make the most of people, man, and times.
Yeah.
I feel the same. My mother, I think, fuck me, she only was 2 hours up the road, 2 hours. It's not fucking that far. Why didn't I make more of an effort?
Yeah.
It's the same shit.
Hindsight's 2020, man. But that's why I think that's why it's important to have this conversation now, because you're like, hey, there's kind of somebody.
You know what? That's why I find myself, I sometimes feel like being the best bodybuilder is hard to do at the same time as being the best person.
Well, it
depends what you want.
But it's not about being the best of both. It's prioritizing, like, I want to be the best bodybuilder I can be.
I can be within this.
But I can also make time for these things that won't affect my progress.
Okay, so that's where I think I have something mentally a bit wrong, is that I find I don't look at things like I feel like everything has to be a decision.
Well, I think you're looking at it like everything is going to affect my progress.
Well, I also look at it like you can't marry things and make the best of both. I have this weird way that's either you go left or you go fucking right. And
when I was bodybuilding, I used to have a saying, it's not my saying, but it was a saying I liked, was, if you chase 2 rabbits, you lose both.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
and that's kind of what I do that all the time.
Yeah. So I used to think about everything that way. It's like, no, I can only do this one thing, because if I don't do this, if I do anything other than this one thing, then I'm gonna fuck it. But that was wrong. It was like very, very, very wrong. And Samson's a good evidence of that. Is like, fuck, man, he's been all over the world,
posing, keeping.
Because the thing is, like, I always know, like, with those kind of decisions, like, you never regret not doing it.
Yes.
Like, you always regret the fact that you never did it, but you will never regret doing it.
Yes.
Put it that way. So when I think about all the shows and everything else, like, we go to a show in different parts of the world, like Rome, Egypt, and all that, and I know that years come down. I don't even remember now. I don't even remember how the show went. I don't remember it, but I do remember what we did in that trip. I do remember went to the pyramid. I rode a camel. I spent some time with my wife. I remembered all that, but the show itself, I'm like, yeah, what was it like backstage? What happened? I don't remember that.
Poor fucking camel.
And you know, oh, it was the funniest moment, man. They had to they was like, bring in the big camel. I
didn't. Did you like riding a camel? I felt it was so uncomfortable.
Man, it was the most scariest fucking thing. I thought I was gonna die.
Does like this, right?
Dude,
when he stands
you know
on
what?
the
They don't tell you.
rock.
They don't. You never understand how tall a camel is.
I know.
It's like a story high.
Yeah.
We were sat out there, and the guy was like, "Okay, Mel tried to get on it, and she got scared, and she asked to be taken off immediately."
Yeah.
So the other guys are with us. They go on it, and I couldn't chicken out. So I sat on it, and he stood up, and I'm like, "I'm gonna fall."
Yeah.
I just know I'm gonna fall.
Barely.
And and you know, you only got one leg in the saddle, and you're holding on, and you're gripping with your thighs with your dear life.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, at some point, I know I'm about to gonna hit the ground, and it's gonna be over. But yet, I was just like, you can't pussy out now because everybody's watching.
Yeah.
So I stuck with it. But then it turned out to be one of the best things I've ever done.
Yeah. You know what? I like what you just said, Samson. You never regret doing it.
Yeah, you
because
regret not.
Even this trip to New York, right? Just this last couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
I didn't want to go because sometimes when I don't travel for a long time,
you get really used to not going anywhere.
Yeah, I have trouble like getting back onto a plane. So like I said to Summer, it was like the kind of days leading up to leaving, and I'm like, I don't want to go, man. You know what? I'm like, Ben knows what we want. Ben can do it. And Summer's like,
motherfucker, you need left me.
Oh shit.
Summer's like, no, you gotta go. You know what we need. You gotta go. And so I'm like, okay, fuck, I'm gonna go. And I went. And after going, even though it was a lot of work and we were tired, like,
oh man, it's life, it's living.
We had a lot of memories.
We had the best time ever. I mean, some of those things that we did, you're gonna remember. There's no way you're not gonna remember. I mean, dude, I was posing in the middle of Times Square, man. No way I'm never gonna remember that.
We saw all of New York in 2 days.
Oh my god, in like 2 days.
As much as I have that same feeling of like anxiety beforehand, and it was a shit ton of work.
Yeah.
I had a great time. I'm never doing it. I'm never going back there.
I'm never going back there.
I'm never going back there again. Never.
New York's hard work.
I'm done with New York. Fuck New York. No, never going back there again. Never.
New York. You only need to
You're going back tomorrow, Samson.
Oh no, but I'm not going to Manhattan.
The city.
Ever again.
That city was brutal to film and do shoots around that city.
Oh my god, no, it was.
But New York's hard. New York's hard work, even if it's just a vacation. It's fucking hard work.
James, you had to see it. I think people sometimes forget that, you know, guys like Samson or you or Ian, these guys that weigh like 300 pounds monsters are people. So Samson, we get him in Times Square, and it's, you know, Times Square is, you know how it is. It's like a million fucking people in like a kilometer worth of space.
Yeah.
And we get him on like those big red stairs, and I'm like, "Okay, Samson, take your shirt off." And
oh my god!
And he's like, "What?" Like,
Samson, you know what's funny, right?
You got to take
get on stage and we'll pose our ass off without even backing out. We take our clothes off and pants and pose anywhere without.
Yeah.
You stand in the middle of Times Square in loads of people, random people, and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh shit, I don't want to do this."
But this was the best part about it, though, James. He was like, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Samson, but he seemed like he was almost a little embarrassed or nervous. But I said to him, like, Samson, we need these shots, man. They're gonna look really good, I promise. So he's like, okay, I'll do it. So he takes his shirt off. After hitting a couple poses, he totally chilled out because everybody took their phones out. And they were like, and it was like,
but I think that's a British thing though, because James, imagine this, right? Imagine in Trafalgar Square or middle of London. Yeah. Imagine a bodybuilder strips off and starts posing in the middle of there.
Yeah, it would be a bit like.
Can you imagine what the public perception will be? It's always going to be a negative one. It will never be
in England, this was a negative one.
In America,
in the US, they like, wow, they're so proud about it. And so I didn't realize that's the impression we're going to get. So when we did
felt bad for the.
Go ahead, Ben.
I was gonna say there was that guy that was posing with his top off, right? That was like a street performer. Yeah. I felt bad for him because I'm like, he was in okay shape, but don't get me wrong, but he was like he was like what 6'2" and maybe 200 pounds with the six pack, and was like, hey, do you want to come take a picture with me? Like one of these, like, you know, what are they called? Like and then Samson's.
But I think that's the beauty of it was everybody in Times Square is a tourist, most likely.
Yeah.
And they're there to see something crazy.
Yeah.
So they see Samson, 320 fucking pounds, take off a shirt, and they want to see that. Like, they're there to see the shit that's like nuts that they don't see at home.
Mhm.
So it was all like it went really, really well. But the point of me bringing that up was even Samson at, you know, being one of the best in the world, it still had that little bit of
No,
anxiety
man.
of like, oh, I don't know if I
Yeah.
want to do this, right?
So,
So
I think there's a humbleness, isn't there, as well?
Yeah.
You know,
Because I'm not. I mean, it reversed me straight back to my childhood. Like it brought me straight back down. Because for years, like I said, if I started bodybuilding, I couldn't go anywhere in public with like my top off or tank top. Not even in the beach.
yeah.
I was never that guy.
really,
So obviously doing bodybuilding, I've sort of developed past that. And then when we went back there, it literally brought me all the way back to being a child again.
yeah, but
And I'm
wait a
like,
minute.
You faced it though.
But Samson, you had
Oh.
like a nice physique when you were younger, didn't you?
it doesn't matter. It didn't
Oh,
matter.
you just
Mentally,
still
I was,
couldn't,
I was just anxious.
Yeah.
I just had that anxiety about being around, having that much attention from people in a
Okay.
spot. It
Yeah.
freezes me.
Yeah.
So when we were there, it just literally reverted to that. And then when I took it off and people started taking pictures, people were like, "Whoa!" It almost snapped me back, going, "Oh,
Yeah.
dude, you're not there anymore.
Yeah.
Things have changed."
You've come far.
And it took, you know what? And it took that moment for me to go, actually, it's different now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really kind of snaps you back to that anxiety moment of you thinking, "Oh crap, what am I doing here?" All these people are looking at me.
Except for when I said take your pants off. Then he was like, no, I'm not doing
Oh,
that.
I was like, nah. That was
There's a limit.
One bridge at a time. One bridge at a time. Okay, let's bridge
There's a
one bridge at a
line.
time.
I was like, James, I was like, Samson, we need some pictures of your legs. Take your pics. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
See, that's the bit I don't mind getting out. Whenever I'm in
Oh.
public, I'll get legs out anywhere. Upper body, no.
Oh shit.
Wait,
Legs are like-
but wait,
uh,
if you're wearing a t-shirt and your
Yeah.
legs are out, it's one thing. But if you're naked,
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You'd have got
different.
your legs out and left a t-shirt on, I assume.
no, I wanted him like in his.
No, but he would
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so we were going to cover Toronto and we only covered Ian, which is kind of bad. We should cover the other guys too. So Toronto Pro is, when this airs, it'll be tomorrow.
Yeah. Can I say something? Can I do my predictions? Because Yannika's arrived at the airport because I'm picking her up today. She's actually early and she's at the train
Okay.
station. So I can do some predictions and then
Yeah,
I will have to leave you guys for questions. I am sorry.
That's awesome. It's okay.
Duty calls.
Okay,
So I'll do
so
some-
so quickly before you go, we have. I don't think I was wrong earlier this week. I thought Mo was doing the show, but I don't think he is now.
No, I don't think he is either.
So it's the notables that I can think of, or the people I do know are doing the show, is Ian, Ross, Hassan, Jason Lowe, Robin Strand, Joe Seaman.
Yeah.
Did I say Ross already?
Yeah.
Ross.
Yeah.
I think those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head.
Some
Now-
big hitters.
Obviously, Ian and Hassan are probably the standouts.
Yeah.
Siemens very good though. I do like Joe.
Seaman is very, very good, but I think if anything, he'll be third if he can beat Ross. I don't know if Seaman, because I just feel like the midsection's still a little thick and it might hold him back.
Yeah.
What about? Okay, let me ask you this before you go. Do you think Hassan and Ian will be 1 and 2, or do you think Ross will be able to creep in there?
I see Ross is really good. Listen, I didn't actually know who Ross was before the New York.
Yeah.
Because I don't follow loads of bodybuilders, only the ones I've kind of associated with.
Yeah.
And he did impress me massively. So let me just say massive respect to him. I think Hassan and Ian are more developed, and I think them two will be top two. I'm not saying it can't be done, but I just think from what I'm judging, I think Hassan and Ian are heavy hitters, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So
Do you think-
I'd probably have them two in the top two.
Do you think Hassan could pull ahead of Ian?
Only if Ian's off.
Yeah.
I don't think if Ian's because
what
it's
if- what if-
proven in previous shows.
Hassan looks good.
What if Hassan is on?
He'd have to be on to a level we haven't seen before.
Which this is his first show with Chad, right?
It'd have to be on to a level that we haven't seen before, and Ian would have to be slightly regressed. Because I still think if they were both on, look at like placings in previous shows. Ian's always Ian's got the credentials, man. Let's be honest.
Look at that hamstring. Fuck.
He's got a lot of muscle, man.
It's whether he's lean enough. I know he is lean, but whether he's lean enough to stand to next to Ian.
It looks like the skin is thin, but he's going to have the separation.
Yeah.
I
think he's amazing.
From the back is where Ian could probably fucking expose him, you know.
James, it was awesome catching up, dude. I don't want to keep you. I know.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I'm sorry about that because it was either going to be like 9. She was either going to be arriving at about 9 or just before. So it's
Don't
just
be
before
sorry.
today, unfortunately.
Don't be
But
sorry.
it's good
Thank
to see
you.
you all.
Yeah, man. Good to see you
Yeah,
too.
man.
Right.
Enjoy your questions that come in later.
Nice one, James.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you in a bit.
All right,
Okay,
speak soon,
brother.
James.
Bye-bye.
Peace, boys.
All right, Samson.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, brother?
Definitely. I gotta go with Ian, man. I mean,
Ian?
he's just more proven. And we know Ian's never hardly that off.
Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
ever. If Ian's never off, if anything, he's only ever
He's just
flat.
he's never ever flat.
Yeah,
He's never
yeah.
really off, is he?
Yeah, yeah.
And then yeah, Hassan, because I just think he's too tickly muscles for anybody else in that lineup.
Ben, what do you think? You seem to have a little bit of reservation.
No, I think it's Ian's to lose.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. I think Ian is the favorite. I see Hassan being, I don't want to say a comfortable second, but I would be surprised again if it's not those two, 1 and 2. Ross is I think an unknown quantity against that level, that caliber.
Yeah.
You know, he was very, and I don't want to take anything away from the Cali because he looked phenomenal. Like, I really like how he looked. It was a really good package that he put together. And I expect them to be a little better this weekend. I just don't know whether he has the development to stand with those two if they're on.
Yeah.
And I think that's where he separated himself. He was on in Cali, right? Undoubtedly, Ross was on.
The thing with Ross and Tonio is they're similar size. So the added condition is what pulled Ross ahead, I think.
Yeah, I'm talking about the top 4 because you had Tonio and Ross kind of similar, and then you had Stu Sutherland was a lot. He was kind of a bigger, more developed, and then Sergio again is a bigger. But those two didn't quite have the polish that Tonio and Ross had. I just think that coming into Toronto, you're going to have 2 bigger guys again, but they're going to be more polished. They're going to be really, really on, and that's going to be hard for him to contend with because his polish is great, but he doesn't quite have that.
I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced Hassan is going to be perfect from the back. So basically, it's going to come down. So I think, okay, my opinion is Ian's going to, for sure, the favorite, and he's probably going to walk away with it, especially with Matt prepping him. For second, though, I would say easily Hassan, but if Ross brings the same condition and Hassan is off a little bit, that could be tricky, right?
Yeah,
and then it depends how off is Hassan and how much smaller is Ross than Hassan, and then they're gonna have to decide, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing as like Ian. Is Ian first place is Ian's to lose, second place is Hassan's to lose.
Yes,
lose. Yeah.
If Ross is on and Hassan is slightly off, Ross could fucking breeze.
But I don't know if it's slightly off. Like Hassan's got.
No, I think it's going to be
more muscle.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
I think it's really a case of which one falls better, the conditioning or the amount of muscle.
Yeah, I think Hassan's got so much muscle that he's going to have to be considerably off for Ross to pull ahead of him. Mm-hmm. And that's no slight against Ross. I think Ross has a beautiful physique. His conditioning is absolutely fucking stellar. I just think at this point in his career, Hassan just carries a lot of mass. And the only reason I think, for me, the reason I think Ian is the favorite is more. Hassan's got just as much muscle, but I think structurally Ian's just a very wide guy, and I think that will carry him. Yeah. So, and then we have behind that well, not behind, but some of the other guys like Joe Seaman, Robin Strand, Morgan. What's the guy's name from Canada? Morgan. Fuck, I can't remember now. I feel bad. Morgan. Let me see here. This is his pro debut. Morgan McDonald.
Oh, obviously.
It's his pro debut. He's from Canada. I just wanted to.
What show did he win?
Give him a look. I think he won the Canadian Nationals last year, I think, or the year before. Mm-hmm. I don't remember if it was last year, but he's a big guy. He'll be up there too. And then who else did we say? Robin Strand,
Jason
Lowe. Jason Lowe still. I'm not sure how big he's going to be. He's had some time off. Any other heavy hitters that are doing the show that we know of? Let me see if Bodybuilders Without Borders has a list up. Bodybuilders Without Borders, Toronto Super Show list, open bodybuilding. Let's take a look. This is Slavoj took 5th last week in California. Aaron Gawley's a big guy. If he's brought up his legs, he could be dangerous. Mike Halusi is from Australia. He looked pretty good last week in Cali as well.
Oh, okay. I know.
Not sure who Sahar is. Oh, isn't this there's one Asian guy. Is this him?
Yeah,
Is this the him? Jangmin Lee. Let's see.
Yeah. He done the other show this past few weeks.
Jangmin Lee. What's that? Right there. I found him.
Oh,
that's him. Jangmin Lee.
Oh, hello. He looks good.
Look at that. See, he was worth the wait.
Oh, yeah. He looks good.
He's fucking really good. Look at that.
Man.
So it's just going to come down to condition.
Doctors.
Oh, damn. Well, is this his first show this year, right?
I've never seen him before.
Never seen him before. I've never seen him before.
Look how good he looks.
Legs for days.
Yeah, his legs are good.
I don't see any back shots, and
yeah, that's what I was going to
say. That's my concern, right? Look at how clean the physique is, though. It doesn't look overly big, though.
He said doctors are mad.
It's got the Asian legs, man. Fucking Asians always have great legs.
Oh, there you go. No, wait. Click on the second picture at the very top. You'll see how tall he is. He's in a group shot. The top middle.
I'm just looking for a back shot. This looks like a guest posing. Or no, he's got a number on. He's going to have to be a little sharper than that. I just want to know. So he's a shorter.
He's shorter. He's shorter.
Yeah, he looks short.
That's a beautiful
legs.
Yeah.
That's funny.
He's more bicep. But those legs, the doctors, there
we go.
That's why.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's a little bit more.
That's why. Shit.
Yeah.
The back.
Look at how thick the legs are.
Yeah.
The back piece is just more. Yeah.
The back has nothing on it.
So, okay, if he's shredded, I still not sure he'll be in the top 5. It could be fit.
He doesn't have the tissue on his lats for stand next to those big boys.
But how old was this? One second. Oh, it was only 2 weeks ago. What's the translation? See, starting the condition work. Japanese. Okay, I think he just turned pro.
Yeah.
1 week ago.
A week ago.
Yeah, so he just turned pro. So this is his pro debut. I guess
he could not train legs and just hit back for a while.
It's a really, really nice physique.
That's a good shot.
I'm curious how much he weighs. With legs like that.
I bet it's like 230.
Think so?
225, yeah.
I want to say more only because when guys have big legs, they usually weigh a bit more.
Yeah, but I don't think he's very tall.
One second. After getting my pro card last week in Japan, pro qualified, my first pro debut is this Saturday. It starts in Toronto, Canada.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
this is his first pro show.
35 this year, not too late nor fast. He's 35 years old. Doesn't say his weight. Huh. Well, interesting. I don't think he'll be able to. I mean, from the front, he's fucking lights out. Yeah. I think the back will be we'll hold him back a little bit. Okay. Let's do a couple questions. And then we'll wrap up. Oh shit, the guys are here for the driveway. I'm getting my driveway resealed. If everyone competing right now came in 100% at a show, who would be your top 5?
The Olympia?
Samson, Derek. Samson, Derek. Is Brandon still in there?
Not for my top 5.
Brandon was big last year. He just was a little bit off.
I'm going Samson, Derek, Nick, Hunter, Hadi.
Yeah,
I can't believe I forgot Hadi. I'm so stupid.
Yeah, Mr. Olympia.
Because Hadi's always on anyways.
I just assumed he was there.
I'll go with that.
I'm gonna say no. I I'm coming up right now. Okay, I gotta go. In no specific order: Samson, Hadi, Derek, Nick, Hunter.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. All right, guys. I'm sorry. I got to cut this one short. I gotta go take care of the house. But
All right.
All right, man.
thank you. It was fun.
All right.
I'll see you boys next
Thanks,
week.
guys.
See you guys
Hey,
next
guys.
week.
Have a good one, man. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.